Hi everyone, Monica Shimonik here. Interestingly, I'm in a better mood now than I was like an hour ago, even though I lost the whole freaking appeal. But they did me a favor because they purposefully sidestepped the big issues I was bringing up. It was a 21-page decision. There are 15 footnotes at the bottom of the decision, which is great. Footnotes, if you're a parent and you're researching case law so that you can learn how to appeal, you want to pay attention to footnotes. Footnotes is like plain language details, and they can be very helpful. And I found 15 footnotes in my decision, and that's a lot. I've never seen that many footnotes before. So they almost over elaborated on why I lost, which again, for me, like when you have to really explain yourself like 150 different ways, it's a sign that they freaking are covering up their bullshit. And so what's interesting is the amount of sidestepping and dancing and putting 3 pages of their decision on an issue that I raised for 4 seconds in the court, putting so much effort in discrediting me on an issue that I didn't even raise. So, and so it's really funny how they play psychology on, they play therapist on you, or psychology. They try to analyze what you're really saying. And again, things that were not raised by me, things that I didn't appeal, they spent a lot of time talking about, and I'm like, why did they do that? I didn't even fight that. But what's interesting is that in my case, something like 17 exhibits were destroyed in my case. The clerk's office at the court destroyed 17 different exhibits. And the court told me that I had to reproduce the record. They said, hey, we destroyed your exhibits. You have to come up with these exhibits now, and you have to bring them to us. So they forced me to do that over the summer. And I didn't have the exhibits because the court had them. I gave them to my attorney back in like 2015, 2016. And then in 2017, when we had our trial, we gave our exhibits to the court. We gave photographs to the court. We gave financial affidavits. We gave things to the court, and we didn't keep copies, okay? Or my attorney didn't. So the court destroyed them. So when the court destroys the exhibits, they are responsible because they're the ones that have to maintain the chain of evidence. It's now court property. It's public property. It's state property. It's not. It's not under my watch anymore, what they do with my exhibits. So they destroyed them, and then unfortunately, because they destroyed exhibits, they upheld the $3,500 punishment towards me. So now I have to pay that, but I'm not, because I'm going to be appealing, or I'm going to the Supreme Court. So the court's failure to maintain their own exhibits and their own documents should not fall on the parent litigant, the citizen. So again, I'm appealing that. One thing that the court did do was, the court in my original ruling took away some of my rights under the IDEA. That is special education law, and that is a federal law. Now, state governments cannot take away federal law. They can't diminish anybody's rights under federal law, like the American with Disabilities Act, IDEA, children's education law. So one of my arguments was that the judge in divorce court took away some of my federal rights, and they can't do that. The appeals court came back and said they do. They cited you guys are gonna die. You guys are gonna die. They cited a case that predates education law when they upheld their decision. How does that work? How do you... my brain just exploded. I can't even understand. See, they think you're stupid, guys. These people, they think you're too stupid to pick up on their bullshit. They think that you're not paying attention, and they think you're just some dumb parent who's mad because you got a divorce and the judge didn't agree with you. And they think you're too freaking stupid to do your own research, and that is not true. We are smart people. We care about our children. The love for our children is what fuels us to do our research, right? All my, medical freedom parents out there, you know what I'm talking about. They think we're freaking stupid. The freaking the law that the case that they cited predates IDEA law. I'm like, how do you do that? So anyway, I'm going to the federal court for that. So I'm actually going to the state Supreme Court and the district court because they violated federal law. I'm also going to federal court because they violated my son's rights under the American with Disabilities Act. I cited that. I hammered that in so bad when I was in court. I was like, this is a violation of the ADA. This is a violation of the ADA. And they effing ignored that in my appeal. So look, dudes, if you're not going to address my assertions that you're violating federal law in the state appeals court, then I'm going to take you to federal court and fight it there. Because look, if you can't get relief in the state court over violations of federal law, okay, someone violates your laws your rights under federal law, you go to the state appellate court to say, yo, they did this, and they ignore you, take it to federal court. I'm going to federal court asserting violations of the American with Disabilities Act because they used my son's disability as a basis to separate him from me. They said he can't handle loud noise. They said he can't handle having a sibling without any evidence to support that. They can't do that. They cannot discriminate against anybody for having a disability. Autism is not a basis to remove a child from a parent. It's discriminatory, period. They can't do that. So other things, I hammered in constitutional infringements, constitutional violations over and over and over again. So this is what I'm going to tell you guys. So and this is what the appeals court came back with. They said that because a motion I filed, something called a motion for declaratory judgment, they said that was dismissed, which it was dismissed. I appealed the dismissal and they upheld the dismissal. Because I asserted my constitutional rights in a motion that was later dismissed, therefore the Constitution doesn't apply. But guess what? When you're in family court, you have to be like a dog and you have to pee in every corner. Hammer in your constitutional rights in every pleading. Motion to modify, put in your constitutional rights. Motion to object, put in your constitutional rights. Motion for articulation, put in your constitutional rights. Motion for anything, motion for correction, motion for reconsideration. Every motion you file, be a dog and spray your pee in every corner. Because with me, I cited it in one motion. Oh no, I cited it in a bunch of motions. I cited it in like 6 motions. I cited in a motion where that motion was dismissed, and what the appeals court is saying is because we dismissed that motion, your constitutional rights don't apply. They did not consider the fact that I put my constitutional arguments into all my other pleadings at the same time. So again, these people think we're stupid. They think that we're going to be like, okay. No, you guys are smarter than family court judges, because this is the thing. Yes, family court judges are smart. They went to law school, they passed the bar, they freaking probably ran a business, and they have craftfully, if that's a word, craftfully, they have artfully proceeded to separate kids from parents for many decades before they became a judge. But this is what happens. If you're super smart and good at what you do, you're going to later become complacent and lazy and stupid because you're used to dealing with parents who don't know your rights. And over 40, 50 years of beating up people, you become, you know, those like mobster movies or like the horror movies where like the monster becomes weak because they get lazy, they start falling asleep, and we are the little soldiers, little foot soldiers that are we are the little foot soldiers that are stepping over the sleeping giant to like set up a trap. You know, that's us. And so we are smarter than these freaking people, these 80 freaking year old judges that are sitting on these benches that are taking kids away from parents. These freaking morons. These people are freaking morons. Yes, I'm speaking out against all these judges. These judges are stupid morons. This is my right to say this. All right, I'm exercising my right under the First Amendment to speak out against my government. You guys are stupid. You guys think we're stupid. You guys are lazy. And you guys are, Kevin says, Connecticut's a swamp trial lawyer lobby. So listen, we are smarter than these people, and we love our children, and that's what makes us smarter. We don't have our law degrees. We don't have our bar, our bar association affiliation. We are still smarter because we are the ones paying attention. We're the ones that are reading the case law, and comparing cases and discussing cases in social media and like hammering down and doing this because these appeals court people, they think I'm stupid. They think that I'm going to be like, okay, and just walk away. I'm not going anywhere. I'm opening up a federal case. I'm opening up the Supreme Court. I'm going to be knocking on their doors. They are going to hear me, and they cannot skirt around the Constitution in family law. You can't do that. So one of the things I fought for was free speech rights, because I don't have religious decision making with my child, and I asserted that by not letting me teach my son my own religion, you are literally giving me a gag order to practice free religion in my own home with my own child. So if you are in a situation where the other parent makes final decision making with religion, that is a violation of your First Amendment rights, because the judge is effectively putting a gag order on you to not exercise your religious freedom with your own child. Massive constitutional violation. There's other things too, but I'm going to be putting a link to my appeal decision, and I'm going to tear this bad boy up. So you'll hear from me in a couple years when my Supreme Court decision comes out. But I'm not quitting. I don't care if I'm like 90 years old, pedaling my wheelchair up the ramp to the Supreme Court. I'm going to be doing this for a long time. So thank you so much for watching. All right, I hope you have a good weekend. Bye-bye.